call me Mystic Mike because I predict these things.
Bryce Mitchell takes on Said Nurmagomedov this Saturday at UFC Fight Night Abu Dhabi. And this is a good fight. You know, Said Nurmagomedov, very experienced fighter, 18-4 in his career. He's 33, 5'8" with a 70-inch reach, taking on Bryce Mitchell, who is 30 years old, 5'10" with a 70-inch reach. So Bryce Mitchell is going to be 2 inches taller. They're going to have the same reach, and Bryce is 17-3. So very similar frames, very similar records. But Said Nurmagomedov, you know, you would think with his last name that he'd be a very effective grappler, really good wrestling, but he's more of a striker. You know, really good kicks, really good leg flexibility and leg dexterity. Has a really good front leg question mark kick, spinning side kicks, a lot of spinning attacks, spinning back fists. Has really good front choke series when guys shoot in on him. He's got a really nasty ninja choke, guillotine choke, and does a really good job at making guys kind of fight at his distance and at his range, utilizing his leg kicks to keep guys at bay, and kind of makes guys want to close in the distance. And when he does, that's when he kind of strikes and, you know, looks to counter on them. Snaps his leg kicks against guys in kind of a taekwondo karate style with no chamber, no tell really, and fights from both stances and can switch pretty seamlessly on the feet. So cardio is a concern. He was starting to slow down pretty badly round 2 against Vinicius Oliveira. I think that was in his last fight. Yeah, Vinicius Oliveira, and was just absolutely exhausted in round 3. Just doesn't have the best wrestling either. You look at his stats, and his takedown defense is 62%, only has 15% takedown accuracy. So doesn't have a lot of success when shooting takedowns, can be taken down to the ground, but is a threat in that kind of transition period where guys are, you know, putting their heads on the inside looking to get takedowns, and that's where he gets a lot of his submissions. So taking on Bryce Mitchell, who, you know, been kind of 50-50 as of late, had the loss to Ilia Topuria, came back and beat Dan Ige, got knocked out badly by Josh Emmett, beat up Kron Gracie, and then recently coming off of a ninja choke submission to Gene Silva. So ninja choke, again, very much a concern of his going into this fight with Said Nurmagomedov, who is going to be looking to catch those submissions when he comes in. But I'm going to go with Bryce Mitchell in this one. You know, Gene Silva is just a tank of a man. He's very good everywhere. I think that he would beat Said Nurmagomedov, and he was just it was just his night that night. Just looked phenomenal, and Bryce Mitchell couldn't really get anything going. But I think Gene Silva is, you know, future champ, future title contender, and I think he's going to be getting respect from Said Nurmagomedov on the feet, pushing him back, landing strikes and shooting takedowns, and really just tiring Said Nurmagomedov out. He was getting tired against the pressure of Vinicius Oliveira, who kind of just, you know, throws big bombs and moves forward, whereas I think Bryce Mitchell's going to be a little bit more consistent pressure, wrestling heavy, looking to land right hands, shoot takedowns. He's not really going to know what's coming. I think he's going to be backpedaling a lot, and I think he's gonna lose the cardio game in this one against Bryce Mitchell, who's got a really good motor, really tough. You know, he's got a good chin regardless of, you know, the knockouts that he's had, but I think he's going to be a little bit too much and overwhelm Said Nurmagomedov in this one. I wouldn't be surprised to see Nurmagomedov win the first round, just landing at range and hurting Bryce Mitchell with leg kicks, maybe beating up his calf. But I think as the fight progresses, it's going to be a kind of a snowball downhill effect for Bryce Mitchell as he starts to take over and wear on Said Nurmagomedov, get him to the ground, and do damage there, look for submissions of his own, and if not, not get the submission, get a decision in this one. Thanks.